It is Sunday morning, right around 5 a.m. Although based on how busy the parking lot is, you would think it is like a Saturday afternoon at like 12, because it is crazy right now. I digress. Today, we're going to be grabbing a few peaks, getting up along the Continental Divide. It's going to be Otis, Hallett, and Flattop. Now, typically, people go up Flattop first, and then they'll make their way over to Otis and down Andrews Glacier, which is exactly why we're going to be doing the opposite of that today. Going to go up Andrews Glacier, hit Otis, Hallett, and then come down Flattop. It'll be close to 12 miles, somewhere around like 4,000 feet of climbing. Get to get up along the Continental Divide, which is always cool. Should be a good day. So we are officially above tree line, almost 5 miles in, just a little over 2 hours. I do believe that this is Andrews Glacier right in front of me. Right there. When you hear the word glacier, you might be imagining something a little more grand. It just looks more like a pile of snow, kind of. But that's okay. Small glacier is still a glacier. And to be honest with you, I don't really know what criteria must be met in order for it to be considered a glacier. But apparently, this meets it because it's in the name. Upon further investigation, I think I've come to the conclusion that this, in fact, is not Andrews Glacier. So I think Andrews Glacier is up and over, which would make more sense, because just looking at it from here, like trying to find where Otis Peak would be, just doesn't make sense. So maybe I was mistaken. I think I am. Apologies to Andrews Glacier for making fun of the size when I hadn't even seen it yet. Maybe I'll be eating my words here in a minute and it's going to be some massive thing. TBD. In other words though, check that out up there. That, I believe, is a shark's tooth, which is there's a trad route on it, so you can climb that spire, which is pretty gnarly. And admittedly, it's been on my list, but man, looking at it in person, that looks absolutely and utterly terrifying. So that one may be kicked down the road further than I had originally anticipated. Because man, it is big, it is exposed, but it's really fucking cool. Anyways, back to climbing. find Andrews Glacier. Now that is a glacier. Apologies to Andrew. Did not mean to disrespect your glacier. This looks more like what I was expecting and a little more glacier-esque. Oh man, look at this. Feeds right down into this little lake. Everyone says to try and hug the left side of this thing as much as possible. So we're gonna try and snake up there and then kind of go up through there. Doesn't seem too bad, although things usually don't from afar, and then you get up close to them, they're much worse than you anticipated. And in the name of saving weight, I just brought micro spikes and trekking poles today, so no crampons, no ice axe. So hopefully that is sufficient. I believe the snow is soft enough, the micro spikes will be okay, as long as it's not too soft. You gotta have that happy medium, right? Only one way to find out. Let's get it. So the plan is to kind of snake up and around on these rocks for a little bit longer through this like talus and scree, to get a little bit higher where it looks like the angle kind of lessens a little bit on the glacier. So plan is just like cut directly across there and then hop on the glacier from there and start making my way up. So this seems like good of a place as any. I'm gonna just make my way on over and then up, kind of hugging that left side up through there. Plus, this rock is starting to get a little sketchy. It's like turning more scree-ish, less talus-ish. So everything is just shifting around constantly, and really, I'm about to run out of it anyways. So I might as well take my line here. Almost to the top. You can see there's like a little red sign up there. You can see the ridgeline kind of. Micro spikes are doing okay. Trekking poles are doing okay. I think it was the right move. Crampons would have been nice, but a little overkill, I think, for this right now. So just made it up to the top of Andrews Glacier. Over Andrews Pass, I believe is what it's called. And we are now up along the Continental Divide. So first we'll make our way over to Otis, then it'll be Hallett, and then Flattop, and that's where we'll hook up with the Flattop trail for the way back down to make this a little loop and finish up our day. We've got Otis right up there, and over to our left. There, it's Hallett, and then Flattop's somewhere back there. It's absolutely beautiful right now. Sometimes you get up high like this above tree line and you just have to worry about the wind being crazy, but it is dead right now in the best way possible. Just a very light breeze, temperature is good, sun is shining. What more can you ask for? Here we are, top of Otis Peak. Here we are, top of Hallett. Amazing views, an insane view of Long's Peak, like absolutely crazy. Man, today just keeps getting better and better. So I was mistaken earlier. Flattop is actually just right there. True to its name, quite flat. I've been on top of Flattop one other time, but it was quite a while ago, and I came up from the Flattop trail, so I didn't have this kind of looking down perspective on it, which makes it look a little bit more unimpressive, if I'm being honest. Picked up a bit of a trail here for the first time in a while, which is kind of nice. I don't really think as much. Right, I don't think there's going to be an apparent summit considering it's flat. So we'll call this the summit. Flattop Mountain. Summited, complete. Now, make the trek back towards Bear Lake. If I were a betting man, I'd say that I'm going to start to see a lot of people here relatively soon. I've only seen a couple groups all in all today. Maybe a total of 6 or 7 people. Like I said, 2 or 3 groups. So spent most of the day in solitude. But closer you get to Bear Lake, if you've ever been to Rocky Mountain National Park, you know. Probably the busiest place in the park. So all that is about to change. That's okay. It's a weird thing, you know. On one hand, always glad to see people out enjoying parks, outdoors, and whatnot. I think it's good for everyone. I think everyone probably needs to do more of it. However, on the other hand, it's also pretty cool to be out here alone. Sometimes wish you just had it all to yourself. Also, still a crazy view of Longs. It's a wild looking mountain. Got Hallett right there, and Longs over there. Otis is hiding back behind, in between those 2 peaks somewhere. Car to car, 13.2 miles. So got in a little over a half marathon today, which is cool. 4,200 feet of climbing. I think the highest we were somewhere close to 13,000 feet. It may have even been 13, I'm not sure. But if not 13, high 12s. It was an awesome day. I was able to get some running in on those last couple miles, which felt awesome. Like, at least I know I'm in a pretty good spot with my fitness when I can hit mile like 10 or whatever it is, and I can start picking up and running at a decent clip and feel okay. So today was a good test of fitness and a good show that things are working. It is always such an interesting, like, stark contrast though, whenever you're in like a big national park or something that's super busy. It's like I just spent, you know, 7-8 hours basically alone, and then I come back down, parking lot full of people, like and at the Bear Lake area it's always super crowded and there's just tons of people down there, you know, probably 50 people around the lake or whatever it is. So it's just always an interesting, it's an abrupt four-way it's an abrupt damn, I can't think of the word that I want to say. It's an abrupt reintroduction into society, but it looks like got down just in time. It's looking kind of nasty out there, but I'm rambling on, so let's wrap this thing up. I appreciate you all for watching. If you haven't already, please be sure to give this thing a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll catch you all next time.